Yo, welcome back to day 87. I was just having some Mandarin, celebrating, having a good day. It's pretty good. I think if you're from a similar background as me, where you kind of had most of what you needed growing up, you had your video games, you had your school, you did pretty well in school, you had your friends, I guess, you had pretty good parents. Nothing too much to complain about. Grew up in a nice neighborhood, nice house, but for some reason, you still want more, right? It's not enough for you. But then when you try to kind of reach for more, it's really hard because, like, whether you like to admit it or not, you're pretty happy with where you are. You're pretty comfortable with where you are. Like, it's not that bad. Like, you're not from the trenches where you feel like you need to rip yourself out of it. You need to grind. Like, you can wake up and have a pretty good day and get nowhere. Like, that's pretty comfortable for you. And that's where the Mandarin comes in. Not really, actually. What I did today to kind of program my mind to have a good day and force myself to be productive was two things. The first thing was that I didn't eat until I had done everything I needed to do for my sales stuff. So did all the calls, did all the phone calls, the follow-ups, the reaching out, whatever, did all the tracking, and only after that could I eat. So I ate maybe like 8 hours into my day, something like that. And then I had 1 kilogram, 1 kilogram of grass-fed strip loin steak, which I'm pretty amazed that I was able to get down. But that was great. And when that was what I ate, I had a banana or something too afterwards. I would still be able to be productive afterwards. So I got a last minute booking, so I had to do that sales call. But basically, I set myself up to be productive. And I feel like when you're in a fasted state, or at least in a state where you haven't had a lot of carbs, for some weird reason, you think a lot more clearly, and your conscious part of your mind, that part of your mind that wants to get out of your situation and that isn't comfortable in your situation, is more active, in a sense. I feel like when you have a lot of sugar, like, for some reason, you revert to more animal state, I don't know if relaxed is the correct word, but you operate more out of your subconscious mind, which is the part of you that's probably stuck in your comfortable situation. But there is some utility to some dopamine though, like celebrating having a good day. Like now, I had a pretty good productive day today, way better than my last few days, so I'm celebrating with this. Which, if you can take a moment to stop and appreciate it, tastes pretty damn good, especially if all you've eaten is a kilogram of steak. So yeah, like, if you feel like you want to get further in life, be more ambitious, but for some reason you feel so stuck in where you are right now, you feel so comfortable, like you don't really need to get further in life. Don't really need to be super successful because, your family already has the money. You're comfortable financially. Like, you could just go the school route, get a job, earn pretty good money, enough to live on. If you're in that situation, you need to create that desire, you need to create that need. Like, I really wanted to get through this sales calls today, to be able to eat, because I was pretty hungry. So that worked really well, setting up that rule for me. So a great example of how you can do that is setting up a reward for doing the work, and then sticking to that rule you set for yourself. So don't eat until you've done these set tasks. And the second thing I did today was I set a rule for myself that anytime I catch myself scrolling, whether that be on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, I have to drop down, do 20 push-ups, and then go and do 10 deep breaths. And when you actually keep yourself to that standard and stick to that rule, suddenly you don't really want to pick up your phone and scroll because you're scared of what you're gonna have to do afterwards. Or you're not scared, but it's painful. It's painful. Suddenly it's painful to scroll. And then suddenly you've deprogrammed that, and you're kind of stuck there, and you're kind of pretty bored, and you can't eat until you've done your task. So what are you gonna do now? Well, you're gonna be successful. There you go. So you kind of need to put your subconscious mind or animal part of yourself to work for your goals, not against your goals. And this only works if you keep the conscious part of your mind strong. It's very, very easy to slip up. And as soon as you slip up on one of these rules, it can very easily come crumbling down again. So when you set these rules for yourself, be very, very particular about keeping those up. And these are the 2 rules I would recommend for you because that's what worked for me. It's don't eat until you've done whatever you need to do. Maybe have a coffee, of course, that might help, but don't have your first meal of the day until you've actually done enough to where you can feel proud about yourself for that day. Because after you eat, you're satiated, your stomach is full, and you don't have that same hunger, literally, and proverbially. And the rule of scrolling is really just because, like, our phones is really our biggest enemy. Like, social media scrolling is truly the thing that is gonna leave so many people with a lot of regrets. Because when you scroll, think about the last time you scrolled for like an hour, 30 minutes, whatever. Do you remember anything during that time? No, really. Do you remember a single reel? No. You remember the start of it, you remember the end of it, but you don't remember anything in between. So basically, that part of your life has disappeared. Never happened. You just got older, but you literally didn't make any memories during it. And that stacks up pretty quickly, especially if you're like the average person that spends 3 or 4 hours on your phone every single day. So watch out. Don't waste your life on accident, because you think it's harmless to just scroll every now and then. It's not even the biggest part of your day. You do a lot of other things too, right? But still, an hour a day is literally like, what would that be? 4 or 5% of your whole life. And an even bigger percentage of your awake life. An even bigger percent of your life where you're not taking into account sleeping, going to the toilet, eating, and basic tasks. Suddenly, like, that's some pretty valuable time of your life that you're just wasting away. So, yeah, but don't be too harsh on yourself. Like, have a bit of grace for yourself, because it is a very addictive thing. I mean, like, we've all fallen into it at some point. But you need to remember too that you can get ahead pretty farther ahead than most people in this world in our age, right? And even quite a lot older, younger, of course. If you just stop wasting your time scrolling and just actually work and put the work in, and you can get very far in life. So yeah, that's my video for today. That's what I wanted to tell you because I think it's pretty important. Because I think the absolute majority of people nowadays actually come from a quite comfortable background. And when you're from a quite comfortable background, it's easy to stay there. So set these rules for yourself. Make it uncomfortable to fail. Make it comfortable to succeed. And chances are you're gonna succeed. Don't go against the odds. It's a bad way to play your moves in life. All right. I love you. I believe in you. And I'll see you tomorrow.